I will be monitoring altcoins. But going back to the Russell 2000, if you just zoom out, just look at this. And what I also want to do is I want to also not overlay just the business cycle. I did a video the other day on Fed net liquidity. This is the Fed net liquidity indicator. Look at it. Look at it. Not only has it been contracted for years and kind of like just consolidating, look at most recently. It's been down. We think about altcoins performing very bad, especially if you've been around crypto in the last couple of months. It's been the worst. It's been the worst. Look at Fed net liquidity. This bottoms, PMI bottoms. We start going into expansion. Look at last cycle, Russell 2000 breaking into all-time highs in November. PMI is expanding. Fed net liquidity is expanding. And then you go back previous cycle, there's PMI chart. Look at it. Expansion with Russell. It's just the story, everybody. So there are a lot of ingredients to suggest we're about to go into expansion. There is going to be printing happening. So the question is, are you prepared? I want to give you some kind of context to this. If you go to our risk models, we're at an 18. If you want to get a sense of, besides everything I've been studying from a monetary perspective and just economic perspective, a perspective of why I've been so bullish and I remain pretty hype about the crypto space and as a value investor, my investments, I look at my risk models, our risk models in our intelligence system, 18 on the altcoin risk model. We go back to pre-bull last cycle, kind of October 2020. Everybody wondering what's up, what's going to happen. Russell 2000, as you remember, we just looked at it, breaking out November 2020. Look at the risk model for altcoins, 27. It was a pre-bull market number. 18 in terms of risk is a pre-bull market number, everybody. It doesn't mean we're breaking out tomorrow. Our indicators, our risk models, these are macro tools. These are macro indicators pulling in a ton of data. But you can go to Ethereum, for instance, just to get some context. In November 2020, Ethereum was in the 40s. Ethereum's just under 40, right? You can just see November 2nd, 43. And then even shortly before that, it was 33 in the end of September 23rd. Very similar risk score. We are going into a very similar cycle in terms of Fed monetary policy, if not even more bullish in certain ways, what is about to happen. So we have to be very mindful that this could be a very quick thing and the next crash could be insane. So it's going to be important to know when to sell, when risk gets very crazy. That's what our risk models are for. Now, if we go, I want to take this into the charts. This is just in general, all of crypto. This is crypto market cap just above $3 trillion. I have this on here. I don't know. It's this business cycle thesis. Everything I've been talking about, it's going to be tested on the macro. This is going to take a little time to play out. Through all of the negativity that we've been in, right? Everybody calling the bear market in the last month. I've been so relentless in presenting nonstop data on why I'm just at the flip side of it, everybody. I am trying to prepare for an upside move. But what's interesting on this chart, and then we'll go into altcoins like Ethereum and Cardano, and I don't know, 27 days left of the monthly. Who knows how this year will end, but we're above that 20-month moving average, which is kind of notable and something just to keep an eye on as we just dissect all of these charts. And we are completely consolidated on the RSI. The RSI on the monthly on a lot of these charts is just suggestive of the bull market still hasn't happened yet. And it sounds crazy because if you go to the altcoin chart, we get a little bit of a different visualization on the altcoin charts because Bitcoin's not included. But even in this, what I would call a bear market, listen, here's the PMI. It's been contracted for years. Altcoins move when it expands. But even in that contraction, right? You can see we entered a bear market. QT, PMI falls. We entered the bear market for sure. But then it's contraction, and all along the way, altcoins have put in higher highs and higher lows. Some have done better than others, but altcoins have hung in there, and we've not even had expansion. It's not been any type of bull market yet for altcoins. This is completely a database thing. Me saying that is completely database. That's not an opinion. There's not been a bull market. When we get an expansion of this chart, the PMI, then we can really start looking at a bull move for altcoins. This is how it's been. Russell 2000, as I said, exemplifies that and shows that story even more because there's more data on it on the Russell 2000.